Yes, you're welcome to my channel, my fellow traders. Hope you're having a lovely day. Today, I have this very lovely strategy I want to share with you guys. The only thing you need is just a zigzag indicator, and luckily, you have that zigzag indicator on your MT5, mobile MT5. There's this way I select my pullback. I always want to see a break of the highest low, that is the expansion phase. I want to see a break of the highest low, which is this place. So once I have a break of that and a lower low is formed under it, then I'm certain I'm on a pullback phase, this place. So let me just point you to let me point what I'm saying. Let me mark what I'm saying. This is the highest low. This place, that is the highest low. That's coming from this place. This is the highest low. This is the expansion phase. So this is the pullback phase. Pullback phase. So once I have a break of the highest low and a lower low forms, I'm on a pullback phase. I'm on a pullback phase. So having clarified that, we will now bring in our indicator, the zigzag indicator. This is the setting for it. It is the default setting. You don't have to tweak anything there, except you have your own motives. But if it is the same thing you're trying to do, you don't have to tweak anything. You depend on the default settings. So once you have it on your charts, it's going to look like this. We are on the 1 hour chart. So it is on the 1 hour chart you confirm the break of the highest low. Then you now dive into your 15 minutes chart. We are basically going to be using 1 hour and 15 minutes chart. 1 hour is the bigger picture. The 15 minutes is the analysis chart. So let's go to the 15 minutes chart. So we are here on the 15 minutes chart. For this strategy, you can see we have a series of highs and lows. So what you are going to look for is a break of the lowest high. The break that this indicator has plotted a series of that's highs and lows for us. So we are going to look for the break of the lowest high, which is this. Let's mark it. This is the lowest high here. So please, my regular people here, my regular friends and fellow traders, you know the way we used to say it. Don't get offended by it. Most of these trades have played out. I'm just trying to show you different strategies and why some of these things happened. So please bear with me. I'll be using charts that has happened already. Sooner or later, we'll get to a stage where we'll be making use of live trades and probably trading view indicator. The thing is, it is the strategy that counts. It doesn't matter if it has happened or not. What matters is if you're able to get what I'm trying to show you. So back to the strategy, you need to see a break of the lowest high, and this happened here. So once you have that break, like I used to tell you, anytime I see a break, that means I'm indirectly telling you I want to see a higher high form or a lower low form somewhere. So for this particular one, since we are looking for the break of the lowest high, we are looking for a higher high to form, and we have the higher high here. So once we have that, let's look for the candle that is the opposing candle before the candle that broke the high. It is the red candle that broke the high. Let's zoom in a bit so that you can see what I'm saying clearly. It is the red candle that broke the high and formed that higher high. it is the black candle, the last black candle before that break, before the break, is the candle we are going to select. So let's select that candle. And extend it into the future. Look at what happened. Let's pretend the only thing we had was just a break above the lowest high, and we had a higher high. So all of this has not happened. So we just marked our opposing candle, that's the black candle before the red that broke the high. We just marked it and extend. Look at what happened. That is the exact spot price action came back to before it bought. What I normally do is I normally put my stop loss below, that is like a pip or 2 pips below the lowest point. Because when we're in Forex, at times they aim for your stop losses, they try to push you out before the trade goes in your favor. So my stop loss is always somewhere here. I have my stop loss around this place. Maybe a pip, 2 pip or 3 pips away from this drama. So if they are trying to throw their wicks and everything to hunt stop losses, I think I should be safe here. So let's look at it. Let's look at what happened at the end of the day. Look at it. This is our box we mark. Look at what happened after price came down there. Look at what the only thing we used was just an indicator, the zigzag indicator. It has been there all along. Probably people didn't understand it. So let's go back to our 1 hour chart and just look at what happened there. Look at it. We had the break, and look at the price came back there, and look at what happened. And now for what do they call it? I've forgotten the term. There's this way you can follow up on your profits, and you lock your profits in. And the thing is, for this, I love this strategy so much because you can just follow up on your profits till there's a break of the highest low. The same thing we had here, a break of the highest low. This is going to be what you look for your stop. That is when you get out of the trade. So if you look at it from here, there's none. Not a close up below. That is a close and a lower low will form. Look at it. It didn't happen from the entry up till this place. It happened somewhere around this place. So imagine the profit potential. Look at how much you could have made with this strategy. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one, I've marked everything to save time, but I'll just analyze. So this is the next one. The break of the highest low. That's supposed to be the point where you get out of the trade. This is the highest low. This is where the highest low is. Some of you may not understand how we select our lows. Please go and watch the video. I made a video about it, how I choose my highest lows and that's highest lows and lowest highs. Because if it is not properly selected, you may choose the wrong thing, and at the end of the day, your results may not tally with what I want it to look like. Because if you're able to select the highest low and you have a lower, look at it, this is the highest low. Price came and broke it and formed a lower low, so it qualifies as a pullback. That is the point I'm trying to get you to know. This is a pullback. This is an extension or an expansion. This is a pullback. It qualifies, in my own dictionary, it qualifies as a pullback. So the leg, this higher low, the highest low here, the leg that broke it, the lower low was complete here. That's the last leg of the lower low. So if you put this back there, and dive into it. So here we have the mark we put there, the completion of that lower low that is forming under our highest low. So now you start looking for the break of the lowest high. This is a low. There was no break there. The candle closed, but there is no higher high. You move. This is another one. There was no break. This is the one that got broken. Please, if you don't understand this video, please try and watch it over and over again. This is about the simplest strategy I've ever seen. The indicator, zigzag indicator, has done the work for you already. All you have to just do is just sit back, just wait for it to break the lows and break the highs and just enter the trade. It is that simple. When I came across this doing my research, I was shocked. Like, does those forex people know this thing? Have they seen it? Because if they have seen it, I don't think it's going to last that long before they start their regular upgrade and things to make sure this thing doesn't work. Like, because this is too simple, for Christ's sake. Just too simple. Look at it, just look at it. A break of the high. This wasn't broken, this wasn't broken, this one was broken, but there's no higher high formed there. You leave it alone. This high wasn't broken. Then you go for this one. This one got broken, higher high. So it doesn't matter. Probably as at the time this high will be broken, this blue line may not have formed then. It doesn't matter. But I'm sure this one, these two would have formed. The angle would have formed. So there's a higher high there. Once you have that higher high, you look. Okay, let's zoom out. And there's this thing, zigzag indicator reprints, but it doesn't reprint when it has, there's a calculation the indicator does. So once the calculation is finished, once it has finished the calculation, it's not going to reprint again. So one thing I'm sure of is, if it has done this and it has formed maybe like 3 or 4 candles after this point, it's not going to reprint again. So that is why this strategy is reliable. I'm telling you. So let's zoom in so you see the next thing. So here we have the high, the lowest high. It was broken and a higher high was created. So once you have the higher high, you also look back. Which candle was there? Which black candle before this breakout? It is this one. You mark it and you put your stop loss where? Like I used to say, maybe 2 pips, 3 pips below this place. Whatever makes the price come down below here, that trade is not good again. You look for another one. So just look at this. So once you have this happen, you can wait for your entry on the 15 minutes chart, because the 1 hour chart is just the essence of using the 1 hour chart is just the bigger picture. It is on that 1 hour chart you will select your pullback. You watch out for the break of the highest low or the break of the lowest high to select your pullback, and then you dive in. Then once you select, then you make sure that highest low or the lowest high that was broken, a lower low forms. Once that one forms, the last leg of that lower low, once it finished printing, then you dive down into your 15 minutes chart and you go and look for the highs that got broken and just enter your trade. Please watch this video a number of times, a couple of times, and you will see how simple it is. So once you have this, the thing is, as at the time, let's pretend as at the time price was doing a higher high here, all this has not printed. The minute you had your break above and that is the lowest high, you just draw your box and wait for the entry. And once you have the entry, just put your stop here. Remember, no strategy is 100%. At times it will work, at times it won't work. But at least you have this strategy, and once it works, you are in for massive profits. So let's go back to the 1 hour chart and see how it turned out. And look at it. It happened here. It came here and touched it, and price did what it bought, and it moved. But there was no, the steam wasn't enough for it. The steam wasn't enough for it. It couldn't break this high. That is the high of the pullback. It couldn't break it, so it came down again. So once you have your stop loss hit, that's another thing. I won't deceive you as if it is foolproof, as if it can't go the other way. It can. So the thing is, please always mark the last point of your pullback. That is the last point. This is the last point. This is the beginning of the pullback. This is the last point of that pullback. Always mark that point. So once you have this point on, once your trade doesn't go in your favor, maybe at the end of the day your stop loss got hit, just as long as price is still inside, it has not gone below this point that you marked, the lowest point of your pullback, you look for another high. Okay, let's go back to the 15 minutes chart. This is what I'm saying. This is the pullback, and this is the last point the pullback went to before we got our high, our lowest high that got broken. We got in, we got tagged in for the trade. It moved in our favor. At least did a couple of pips before it came back and it failed. Some of us would have maybe shifted some of us would have broken even, but still the trade didn't go in our favor. So our stop loss, which was supposed to be somewhere around here, was hit. Stop loss would have been somewhere around here, so it's definitely could have been hit by this. So since price is still within this pullback phase inside that box, look for another one. It is forex trading. It is like that. At times the first entry won't go, it is going to be the second entry. For the fun part is, even if you lose a couple of pips here, once you have a successful one, it's giving you back your money. That's one thing I love about forex. So now, since this one failed here, it broke our stop. Then the next thing, you start looking for the break of another lowest high. And what happened? This is a low, this is another low. And what happened? The break happened here. That is where I marked it already. The break happened here. The break of the lowest high. This was the first entry we had. It broke the low. It gave us a higher high. It tagged us in. It went this far, but failed. Maybe news, maybe just their normal stop hunt, as a stop loss hunt thing. At least we lost that trade. Then we start looking for another high to be broken. As long as price still remains in this pullback phase. This pullback phase I told you to mark. Once price goes below that place, forget that trade. But as long as price is still in that phase, look for another low that will get broken. Unfortunately for us, this one got broken. When it got broken, it did what? It created a higher high. And what do we always do when we have that? The candle, the opposing candle, before that break, you mark it. And look at what happened. Price, as at the time you were marking when you have this higher high, all this wouldn't have happened. So you mark, look at where price came back to again, that same spot. And already we would have our stop, like I used to say, a pip or two below this spot. Price never came there again. And let's go into the 1 hour chart, the bigger picture, so we can see what happened there. So this was our first entry, but for the fact that we were still inside this leg. This is our pullback. Let me increase the thickness of that so that you can see what I'm saying. This is our pullback face. So the lowest point of that pullback, as long as we are still inside this place, price didn't go close below it, you can look for another trade. That's what I was saying earlier. So we entered this, we got tagged in, it went, but it didn't go far. We lost that trade. It gave us another opportunity. There was a break above the lowest. Please don't use the 1 hour highs and lows to check, to look for a break of the highs and lows. It will give you, at times it won't give you any highs or lows there. That is where you have to go into your 15 minutes to go and select, to go and look for a break of the highs or the lows. If you are buying, if you are looking for a buy entry, you are looking for a break of the lowest high. If you are selling, you are looking for a break of the highest low. For this we are buying, well, it is a break of the lowest high we are looking for. So we got in on the 15 minutes chart, it tagged us in, and look at what happened. Look at what happened at that same spot where we marked. Look at it. This is our stop loss. It never came there again. Look at it. Imagine having this on the 1 hour chart. Look at the profit potential. Let me just show you the settings back. Look at the default 1253. That is the default zigzag indicator setting. Don't adjust it. 1 hour chart. 1 hour chart is your bigger picture. That is where you choose your pullback. Please don't, any pullback that doesn't break, that you don't have a break of the highest low and the lower low form, it may work, it might work, but I'm not giving any guarantees on that. The one that has a lower low form under it, like this, the highest low got broken, a lower low was formed. That is my own pullback. That is what the strategy works for. So I guess I'll be ending this video here. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you get notified once I come up with juicy stuffs like this. Please, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I will try my best to answer as many questions as possible. Till the next time we meet, please have a lovely day.